page 89, lesson 4. And we're going to be estimating quotients using compatible numbers. And we're going to be talking about some of that vocabulary in just a little bit. But let's just practice Spark Your Learning. So we're going to walk through this together. Myra has a part-time job as a lifeguard at Lazy Days Summer Camp. She works 78 hours over 4 weeks. Myra estimates how many hours she works each week. So here's her division equation. She has 80 divided by 4 equals 20. Myra says she works about 20 hours each week. Do you agree? So we're going to find out if her answer is reasonable. So let's show our thinking. Well, let's think about it. What does she do first? You can see that she has her division equation here. Oh, let me change my pen. Okay, so you can see that she has her division equation here, but how did she get that? She did that by taking 78 and rounding to the nearest 10. Well, if we have 78 hours, 7 is what we're trying to round, and we look at the number in the ones place to help us figure out which way to go. It's 5 or greater, so we're going to round up to the nearest 10, which would be 80. Okay, so that's the first step. Then we're going to take that and make that into a division equation. She said 80 divided by 4. Okay, let's simplify that. Let's take that 80 and turn it into 8 tenths. Still divided by 4. So what is 8 divided by 4? And you get 2 tenths, which equals, I'm running out of space, I'm going to put it here, 20. So we can say that 80 divided by 4 equals 20. So now let's think about that. Do we agree with her estimate? We know that 78 is close to 80, and 80 divided by 4 is 20. So we can say that Myra's estimate is reasonable. So we agree with what she came up with. Now look at the turn and talk down at the bottom. Think about that for just a second. How did Myra change the numbers in the problem to estimate? How does she change the numbers to estimate? Well, the same thing we did. She changed 78 to 80. Why do you think she did that? She did it, boys and girls, so that it would be easier to divide mentally. So that's what we're looking at. We're estimating today to make it easier to do this work mentally without having to write out the problem step by step. All right, so let's move on to page 90 in your workbook and let's keep practicing this. Okay, build understanding. Lazy Days Summer Camp will host 624 campers during 3 sessions. About how many campers will attend each session? Show how you can estimate the quotient 624 divided by 3. 624 divided by 3. So we're using this equation to estimate. So A says circle a number on the number line that is close to 624 that is easier to divide by 3. So we want to find a number that's easy to divide by 3. And it's got to be close. So I'm going to estimate, or I'm going to round 624. And I'm going to see that 600 is probably going to be the easiest one to divide by 3. Well, let's look at B. Let's see if we can figure this out. So it says, how can you use basic facts to find compatible numbers for dividing 624 by 3? Now, let's stop and look at our vocabulary really quickly here. Connecting to vocabulary. Compatible numbers are numbers that are easier to compute mentally and are close to the exact numbers in the problem. Okay, so that's all that we're looking for. Numbers that are easier to work out in your head and are close to the exact number. So, we know that some number divided by 3 equals 1. So what number divided by 3 equals 1? 3. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. Okay, well then let's think about that. If 3 divided by 3 equals 1, what number divided by 3 equals 2? Kind of gives us a hint right here. 6. Okay, and we can keep going. What number divided by 3 equals 3? There's our hint, 9. And then here's our next hint, 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Okay, so now we've used our basic facts. If you'll notice a pattern with these numbers, you're adding 3 every single time still. So looking for those patterns with the numbers. All right, let's look at C. Which compatible number, so numbers that are easier to compute, for 3 will you use? So which one's going to be the easiest to use? Well, we said earlier, we circled 600 because we know that 6 divided by 3 is easier to use, okay? So 6 divided by 3 is easier. And remember, we're trying to find a number that's the easiest to compute. So it's compatible numbers. All right, D. Choose the compatible number for 3 that is closest to 624. How can you use a basic fact and place value to divide your chosen compatible numbers? All right, so I can use 6 divided by 3 equals 2 to estimate. I can also use place value. I can say 600 divided by 3 equals 600 divided by 3, which would be 200 or 200. So about how many campers? 200 campers will attend each session.